Hey everybody, welcome to Symon's Dinners. A beautiful day in the garden, per usual. So today I'm going to some childhood classics that I really love. We're starting off with city chicken, which as you can see is not chicken at all. It's actually a pork dish, very famous in Cleveland, Pittsburgh, and some of those areas. Grew up with it as a kid. Now, there's a lot of stories with city chicken and why it's not chicken. In the early 1900s, chicken was more expensive than pork. So they would call this mock chicken or city chicken. And originally it was actually ground pork that they would form into a chicken leg around a skewer and then bread it and fry it. And then it started to become cubed, and in different areas they do it different ways. Some places do standard breading, flour, egg, breadcrumbs, and pan fry it. Some do standard breading and bake it. Some just flour it and saute it and make a sauce. There's a lot of different ways to make city chicken. I'm gonna show you how I like to make mine. So a lot of different cuts of pork are used. I'm using a tenderloin. It's always gonna be tender. It cooks the easiest. This is actually delicious to make with pork tenderloin. Cook it at about medium or 150 degrees, super juicy, so that's why I'm using the tenderloin. When you get it at the grocery store, typically it comes just like this, and it has silver skin and stuff on it, so I'm gonna take it off. You could buy your meat cubed, but if you could learn this simple tricks, it's way cheaper to buy it like that. So I take my knife and I just go away from me a little bit with the silver skin, then I bring it back this way and run it underneath and aim the knife up at the silver, and we just do that all the way around. The reason that I take this off is because if I didn't, it would be a little bit on the chewy side, and it wouldn't allow our seasonings and stuff to get into the pork. A lot of times you see people do it with ribs also. They take that silver skin off the back. And then we're just gonna cut this into cubes. So we try to get everything about even in size. If they're a little bit longer at the end, you know, I could kind of fold these to make my cubes there. If everything is the same size, in theory, it will cook at the same pace as everything else. All right, we're gonna move this board underneath. I'll wash my hands real quick here, and then we will move on to how to bread these up. When I was a kid, every household made city chicken. There were all different variations of city chicken, and it was pretty competitive whose city chicken was the best and what camp you were in. So I have all-purpose flour here. I'm gonna put in about a tablespoon of sweet paprika, a good pinch of kosher salt, and a couple good turns of cracked black pepper. Also in my just standard breadcrumbs, I'm gonna put cracked black pepper, a pinch of salt, and some paprika. Also gonna put paprika, salt, and pepper in my eggs because you want everything, every layer to be seasoned. All right, so we're gonna mix to make sure everything is, the paprika, salt, and pepper's even throughout there. Same thing with our breadcrumbs and then our eggs. Remember, whenever you are doing standard breading, remember the month February, F-E-B, flour, eggs, breadcrumb. That is how you standard bread. So you do 4 to 5 pieces on each kebab, and these just get skewered up, just like that. We're cooking these in a pan, not on coals, so I don't have to worry about my skewers burning or anything like that. City chicken, I grew up, Pap used to make us city chicken all the time as kids, so this was a big one for me growing up. All right, so we season the meat, we season the flour, we season the eggs, we season the breadcrumbs. That's what is important because you want everything to be seasoned evenly. So I'm gonna go with a dry hand here in my flour.
And why does the flour go first again?
The flour helps the egg stick to the pork.
Okay.
The egg helps the breadcrumbs stick.
Got it.
Got it? So you shake off any excess, then you go in your eggs, because you don't want this to be bready. You just want it to be like crunchy. More. I'm gonna get this rolled with a wet hand. So this hand will go in here.
See, this I mess up. Both hands end up being wet hands.
So now when I go in, I could flour.
Yep, this is smart.
And this hand is dry, okay? Wet hand, dry hand, roll it around.
Yeah.
All right? Wet hand, dry hand, roll it around. All right, so there we go. I'm gonna clean my hands because they're full of pork and breadcrumbs. I have the grill set up how I always do. We have a hot side with the coals going very hot and no coals back here. I've had a cast iron pan just sitting there kind of getting warm. Now I'm gonna move it directly over the flames. We're gonna take a regular olive oil, not extra virgin, in our pan, and we're kind of gonna shallow fry these. So I'm gonna just get it, you know, about 1/8 of an inch or so deep. And then we're gonna wait a second till that gets hot. When that gets hot, then we're going to start crisping up our pork.
When you fry things, is it always olive oil or do you ever use other fat?
Olive oil, regular olive oil I'll use. I try not to use extra virgin to fry in. Avocado oil is also a great frying oil. Rice bran oil, super high smoking point, great frying oil. Cool. So that's a great question. So I can see that my oil is starting to smoke a little bit. So I cook with my senses, Liv. Liv?
Yes, cook with your senses.
All right. You hear the sizzle, you see the sizzle. That's what we're looking for. So we put these in. I don't drop them all like at once because I want to make sure that the oil is staying hot. We could fit about 4 in here. So we'll get these crisped. And once these are crisped and start cooking through, we could add the rest and then they could go back in. We're gonna let these brown on all 4 sides. Once they brown on all 4 sides, they should be up to that 150 temperature situation. And as they start to brown, I could close the lid to kind of turn our burner, so to speak, into an oven to make sure that everything kind of cooks evenly. Now I'm going to grab our city chicken. We cook to 150 internal temp. City chicken, some people serve it dry, some people make a gravy. I am gonna do it some of this vinaigrette that we reserved.
It's gonna be delicious.
I mean,
actually.
mustard and horseradish and pork, oh my. We could also put some honey in here if you wanted some sweetness. I know Lizzie likes a honey mustard sometimes.
Probably hot honey would be
hot honey
nice
would be
on
nice.
here
So
too.
yeah, you could have some, I guess
Yeah,
at
play
the end of
with
the day, you could have some fun with it.
Yeah.
So that is that. So Liv, I know you've never had city chicken. There's a couple ways you could do it. You could pull the whole thing off the kebab.
Okay.
You could pull off a piece at a time.
Can I eat it like
You
this?
could eat it like corn
So
on the cob.
you don't need a fork? Is that what you're telling me?
No, yeah, probably not.
I love the mustard in here. And it's still really juicy and tender inside, which I wasn't expecting.
And that's about cooking it to the right temp. You know, that's all about the temp. I like it because the dressing kind of updates a classic. You get the juicy pork, you get the texture. You could do it outside so you don't have to worry about some of the oil splatting in your oven. City chicken, I grew up, Pap used to make us city chicken all the time as kids. All right, first things first, let's get into our spicy smoked chicken thighs. So I love chicken thighs. They're my favorite cut in the chicken. I think they're most people's favorite cuts that really love chicken. These are bone-in, skin-on, which is gonna make them moist and delicious. And I'm gonna start working on my spice mix. So this is a very easy rub. We have equal parts of cracked black pepper, kosher salt, a little bit of cayenne, and Urfa chili.
Okay, what is Urfa?
Oh, Liv, I knew you were gonna ask.
I
this.
have
You wanna
no
know.
idea. I've never even heard of this.
So Urfa is my favorite chili. It's starting to get a little bit more popular. It's my goal to make Urfa the chili of the people. But it is a Turkish chili that is sun-dried, and it has almost like, it has a little bit of spice to it. To me, it has a touch of smoky flavor, but a gentle heat, and also has like a little bit, almost like a raisiny flavor to it. It's delightful. But if you cannot find it, I would say go maybe 3/4 part ground ancho, and then 1/4 part something with a little bit of heat, like a cayenne would work fine. How do you feel about Urfa now, Liv?
I mean, listen, it sounds great. It's really, how does it taste?
It tastes great. I've been putting Urfa chili in food that you've been eating at this house for about 10 years now.
Oh,
So
great, I love it.
I have cracked black pepper, kosher salt, cayenne, and Urfa chili. So I always just mix all my spices up, give them a little fork so they're evenly distributed, and then we are going to apply them to our chicken. Before I put them on the chicken, I have this chicken that's been out at room temp, so the chill is off it. I'm gonna give it a little pat with paper towels, just to get any excess moisture off the skin.
And you're using bone in. Why do you like to have the bone in still?
The bone in, because the bone has tons of flavor, and it's gonna help keep our chicken moist, but it's also going to add flavor as the chicken cooks. If you don't wanna see the bone, cook the meat on the bone, then take it off afterwards. You're gonna be up in a much better place. Same with the skin. Cook it with the skin on. If you don't wanna eat the skin, take the skin off afterwards. But the skin and the bones add a ton of flavor. The reason we pat the chicken dry is the dry skin is gonna help us get a little bit of crispiness when it cooks. When I plan ahead enough, I even will put the chicken like this after I pat it dry in the fridge overnight with the skin exposed to dry it out a little bit extra. And that's really where you start getting that nice crispy skin. So even coat of our rub. And then I'm gonna give these a flip, get the other side, and then we will get them on our grill. We wanna smoke these around 275, but anywhere between 225 and 325, you're going to have delicious chicken. It's just gonna change the cooking time a little bit. So don't panic if your grill starts to get a little bit too hot. Or it gets a little bit cooler. It's just gonna take a little bit more time. The key is to make sure that your chicken is cooked through to the temperature you want. We're gonna finish these with a glaze. So the smoking part of this situation, I'm only gonna take it to about 130, 140, and then we'll finish them with the glaze. We'll bring them up to that 165, 170 for the thighs. So this is ready. Now I have the snake method set up on the grill. And you could see in here with the snake method, so the coals are very small in the front. They start building up towards the back of the smoker, and that's just gonna give us a nice even cook. What you do is you put that first coal down, you could put a starter underneath the coal, it's gonna spark it, and then it's just gonna go coal to coal to coal to coal, so it holds your temperature throughout. We are going to put our chicken skin side up away from those coals.
Why do you do skin side up?
Because the skin is going to kind of cook and crisp a little bit and render the delicious fat from the skin into the chicken. It's almost like a self-basting situation, Liv. You know what I'm saying?
I got it.
You know what I'm saying, boneless, skinless chicken breast girl?
You know me well.
Mm-hmm. Yep, Liv moved to California and she only eats her chicken without bones and skin.
To each his own.
We're gonna have a little talk. So let me just put this lid down.
If I was doing this indoors, how would I set it up?
If you were gonna do it indoors, you could just set your oven to 275 and just let it go at 275 and let it rip. Chicken is going, time for our barbecue glaze. So I'm gonna give this barbecue glaze a little bit of hit because our secret guest that is coming later, let's just say that he grew up in our house and I cannot make it spicy enough for him. He loves heat and spicy food. So we are gonna do a habanero pineapple glaze. So it is gonna have a little bit of heat. Here's a great trick with habaneros. Habaneros, ghost peppers, chilies like that have a ton of heat, like an insane amount of heat. To control the heat, this is a Bobby Flay trick, only thing he's ever taught me. You take one slice, you put it in the chili, and you drop it in. And so this way you can pull it out when you want and it's gonna release its heat gently through the sauce. So this is a great trick. Thanks, B. Flay. I appreciate your kindness. That goes in the pot. To that, we're gonna add about 2 cups or a pint of pineapple juice. We are going to add about a cup of chunked fresh pineapple. Lime juice, because lime juice and pineapple are delicious together. Sherry vinegar, and I am gonna hack up 1 onion that will simmer in here, and we could just remove this out at the end. And we are also going to put in a little bit of honey. This is another thing I learned from Bobby. You always want that balance of sweet and spicy. You just don't want a fireball or something super sweet. So I'm gonna put this directly over the coals on my grill. We're gonna let it come up to a simmer. It's gonna cook for about 30 minutes, break down, and then I'll show you how to finish that. We are back to Spicy Land. I am starting the Barberton hot sauce. So this is an Ohio classic. Barberton, Ohio is very famous for their fried chicken, but they always serve their chicken with what they call Barberton hot sauce. And it is a spicy tomato-based rice. It's absolutely delicious. Now, In Ohio, the most common pepper it's a Hungarian hot, we call them. They're everywhere. I am in Long Island today. I'm using a variety called Holy Moly, and basically a Hungarian hot or this Holy Moly is a chili that has a little bit of heat, but you could get a couple mild ones and then you could get one that kind of jumps a little bit.
Is there a more mild chili that I could use here for some of us who are not hot sauce aficionados?
Yeah, but then you really probably wouldn't call it Barberton hot sauce. You would call it Barberton mild chili sauce. But you could use a Cubano. I mean, you could just use a green pepper if you want. I am going to start sweating these vegetables. So we have diced red onion, diced celery, some smashed up garlic, and a little bit of the pepper of your choice. I have my pan preheating on the grill right here. To that, I'm going to add a little bit of extra virgin olive oil, about 3 tablespoons. And now I'm going to start adding my mirepoix to that. I'm going to drop the onions in first, then the celery, then the chilies, and lastly the garlic, because we don't want the garlic to burn. We just want all this to sweat. All right, Liv, so season 5, Symon's Dinners. You've learned so much. I put in all my mirepoix. What should I do now, Liv?
You should.
What haven't I added to my vegetables sweating in the oil to maximize
salt?
So now is when you salt these vegetables. It's gonna start pulling out the moisture, bring out all the natural flavors. Do not miss this step. We're gonna give this a stir. Let these sweat for about a minute or two over that medium heat, and then we will continue to build the dish. So here are the other things I have in this dish. I have a chicken stock. You could use veg stock. If you don't have either, you could use water, just a nice liquid. I have about a 1/4 cup of rice because this isn't a rice dish, it's a hot sauce dish that has rice kind of floating through it. We have some chopped tomatoes, 1 large can, and a little bit of sugar. Now, my fellow Iron Chefs, Bobby Flay and Alex Guaniscelli, put sugar in their tomato sauce for their Italian pasta, their pomodoro and marinara. If I were to do that, my Sicilian grandmother would probably cut out my heart and serve it for dinner. So when I'm making pomodoro, I never put in sugar. The reason I'm putting sugar into this is I want to balance the spicy with a little bit of sweet. So just a touch of sugar. And because our special guest likes things a little bit on the spicier side, I have some Calabrian chilies here that I am going to add just to bump up the heat. All right, so my vegetables have sweat. They're looking delightful. I'm gonna add my stock. I'm gonna add my tomatoes. I give this a stir. Sugar, rice, Calabrian chilies. These are hot. So those are gonna go in. We're gonna stir that. It's gonna take about 20 to 25 minutes to cook the sauce all the way through and have that rice tender. Now, this is a sauce that has rice in it, so you are not looking for your rice to absorb all your liquid. This is a saucy, loose dish. So this is coming back up to a simmer. We are just going to let it go, and while that is happening, I'm gonna finish my pineapple habanero glaze for my chicken thighs. So this has been simmering away. We have those habaneros which have broken down. Everything is nice and tender. And we are just gonna buzz this up until it is smooth. So I'm gonna remove the onions and the habanero because the trick that I showed you with the little slit in there kind of gives you the heat in a very controlled situation. But the nice thing is if I wanna make it hotter, I could start adding chunks of the habanero or whatever hot chili you're using back in. So we're gonna buzz this up. So we're gonna give this a taste. Pretty good. I think it could use a little more sweet. So I'm gonna just put in a touch of honey, a little pinch of salt. And it has a bite to it now, but I know that he is gonna want it a little more bitey. So I'm just gonna drop these back in and let them continue to simmer down with the sauce. But this is a dealer's choice situation. Make it fit your palate. So this is gonna go back on. It's gonna simmer and reduce by about half, and then it'll be ready to go on the chicken. The sauce is cooking away. Our chicken is looking good. All right, you guys, spiciness is in the air. Chicken is off the grill. I'm gonna hit it with one more glaze. I let that go for about an hour and 10 minutes. Most importantly, always cook to a temp, not a time. So I took these thighs to about 170 internal temperature, hitting them with a little bit of that habanero pineapple glaze. God, taste the glaze. So pineapple, vinegar, habaneros, onions.
Ooh, that is really good.
Ooh.
It's not so spicy, but it's
No.
No, it's good.
Give me that glaze. All right, so I am going to put the Barberton hot sauce in the bowl. And you can see it kind of continues to absorb that rice. Top it with a little bit of chicken. Liv, you want to come on back so you could start eating with us?
Yep. I'm ready to get
I'm gonna
spicy.
pass these down. For you, people at home, Kyle and Liv have known each other for a pretty long time now. And you guys are actually born a day apart.
A day and
A day
6 years.
6 years.
A day and 6 years.
Yep.
I can't believe Liv is that much older than you.
I know.
Great hair.
Everybody dig in. Tell me what you
All
think.
Okay.
If you don't like it, keep your opinions to yourself.
It's awesome.
I love that glaze.
Yeah. It's
I
really
really,
nice.
yeah, I really like how sweet it is. I'm not usually a pineapple person, but it's subtle. It's not overwhelming.
And I'm not usually a sweet, saucy person.
I'm not usually a
But
subtle
this
person.
is
First thing you get is the sweet. You get the pineapple flavor, and then it finishes with a little bit of that habanero bite.
I like this a lot.
The Barberton hot sauce. Liv, tell me what you think.
Do you need a piece of bread? Here,
Oh,
wait,
and Kyle's like not even blushing. Sesame roasted chicken thighs. I have 8 bone-in, skin-on chicken thighs here. So now we're gonna make our marinade for this. The basic ingredients here are olive oil, lemon, sesame seeds, garlic, hot sauce, flat leaf parsley, and tahini.
Could I use other herbs in here if I didn't have parsley?
Basil, cilantro would be good. Fresh thyme would be good. Just the juice of a lemon. These lemons have been sitting out for a little bit, so they're perfect. The juice is just pouring out of them. We're also gonna take 3 nice cloves of garlic and grate that in, because we're kind of making a little bit of a paste here for the marinade. I'm gonna add some untoasted sesame seeds, about tablespoon or so of tahini, which is a sesame seed paste. Adds a lot of flavor, very popular in Middle Eastern cuisine. Depending on how hot you want it is how much hot sauce that you put in. If you want it super hot, you put in a lot. If you don't want any heat, you could omit it completely. So this is a Mediterranean, Middle Eastern mashup, both lemony and spicy. All right, flat leaf parsley, and this isn't a garnish situation, this is a marinade. So go all the way down to the end and use the stems too.
And when you marinate, like sometimes my mom throws it in overnight. Is there like a too long amount of time, or can you kind of do it what you want?
You know, I think you can marinate up to like minimally an hour. I wouldn't go longer than 8, especially with the marinade like this, because it has some acidity in it. The acidity will actually start cooking the chicken. And I'm gonna put a pinch of salt and some pepper in here. Salt will do the same thing, it'll start cooking it. So you could go an hour minimally and no more than, I would say, 8.
It smells good.
It does, and I'm just gonna put a couple more glugs of olive oil in. And then we're gonna take our thighs and you start loading them into your bag. No rhyme or reason here. And then we put the marinade on top of this and kind of just massage it right in, and then you're good to go. Look at it, Liv, would ya?
It smells amazing.
Doesn't it? And that's what you're smelling is not only the garlic, but the tahini and the sesame seeds, and all those flavors are right in there. My mom, this marinade would be exactly the same, no tahini, and maybe she would probably use oregano. So you get the marinade in there, put it on a tray, stick it in your fridge, 1 hour to 8 hours, no more, no less. Now, this is the chicken.
Exciting.
I told you I marinated it earlier. Olive oil, garlic, tahini, sesame seeds, flat leaf parsley. I put in a good amount of hot sauce.
Feeling a little sassy and
So,
spicy.
yeah, so we spiced it up pretty good. I'm gonna put this on the not hot side of the grill.
Got it.
And I'm gonna close the lid, which is going to allow this to kind of bake, but get some of that smokiness rendering off the coals. And then at the end, we will put it over the hot part of the grill to get that char. So we put our lid down. You want to cook the chicken to about 160, 165. Now, Lizzie, look at this, huh?
They're beautiful.
So we started it skin side up. You could see that the fat has rendered off the chicken a little bit. So at this point, these are fully cooked. But now to finish it, I'm taking it over the coals, and we're just gonna give it a little bit of a char on our coals here, which I think gives it a little bit more of that barbecue
and it's also
flavor.
going to toast those little
Yeah, the sesame
sesame
seeds get
seeds.
toasted. The other beauty of this really is if you take that chicken and you put it skin side down right off the bat, you get a lot of flare-ups. So this protects you from flare-ups. You render out some of that fat, and now there's still gonna be drippings down into the coals, which is gonna give you flavor, but you don't have flames licking up all over the place.
Wonderful.
All right, so see how that's starting to char a little
Oh,
bit?
yeah.
So I'm just gonna give it a
Take
flip.
Okay.
We'll let the other side get a little bit of char on there. Oh, baby. All right, chicken is coming
That
off,
looks phenomenal.
right? And we're gonna let it rest a little bit. With any meats, let them sit out for about 30 minutes before you start cooking. And then once they come off your grill, your oven, your stove, whatever you're cooking in, you wanna let them rest for a little bit to let those juices go back in. All right, so chicken is ready. We're gonna take some chicken,
Okay.
put it kind of over the baba side. Let's go chicken.
Okay. Can I put a little baba with my chicken?
Yeah, a little chicken, little salsa,
Little
little
BG.
baba. I love these sesame chicken thighs because you get that little nutty toastiness and then that deep earthy flavor of the garlic.
It's smoky.
I like the crispiness of like the chicken skin, but it's still juicy inside.
Right. Pap's favorite pork chops. We have 4 huge double cut pork chops. This is gonna be our base for our pork chops. So we're gonna have 2 whole onions sliced. We'll have 2 carrots, cabbage. We're gonna shave it up. I'm using red cabbage here. You wanna use a hearty cabbage. So my pan is got some good heat to it. I'm gonna put a little oil in here. Onions are gonna go in. Move these over to my full hot spot now. So as soon as they get that light golden hue to them, then, Liv, I will start adding my other vegetables. The other vegetables don't need to caramelize, they just need to kind of cook.
That is a lot of cabbage.
But it's gonna break down. Carrots, potatoes. All right, so sauerkraut goes in. This is just a caraway kraut. You can see some of those caraway seeds in there. This was a great pap trick. A little bit of cider. Pap liked a lot of black pepper, a little bit of chili flake. All right, so I'm just gonna bump this off to the side now, and it's gonna continue to break down. We're gonna make our rub. So equal parts of kosher salt and coarse cracked black pepper. That a little whisk. To that, I'm gonna add some celery seed. So about half as much celery seed as I put in black pepper, a quarter as much garlic powder, smoked paprika. I have some cracked mustard seeds and cracked coriander. And then you whisk this all together. Now, we have these big, basically 1 pound chops. And we're gonna hit them with a little bit of oil on both sides. Now we're gonna just liberally sprinkle our rub on. And the way we're gonna finish them to make sure that they stay juicy is we're gonna cook them in our cabbage mixture. So these are seasoned up. I'm gonna bring these over to the grill. I'm gonna get them on the hottest part of my grill. And we're really just gonna like char each side. Pork has a good amount of fat in it, so it's gonna flare just a touch. Just don't freak out. See, that's what we're looking for. Those nice grill marks in that char.
Yep.
And then we just move them over to our pot. We're gonna move this all the way over, off the heat. We're gonna close the lid. This is gonna get us to about 400 degrees internal temp. I'm about halfway open on my holes. This is gonna slow cook in there until the pork chops are at about 150 degrees. And I am gonna show you these unbelievably gorgeous pork chops. So I'm gonna cut these up. So we're just gonna take that bone off and look at how it's just nice and juicy inside. I cooked these to about 155. You could see that juice is just pouring out of them. They're gonna just have a lot of flavor. I have sauerkraut, cabbage, potatoes. We cooked them in a little bit of apple cider. Put some pork on there. And you could garnish this any way you want. I think just a little dollop of that grainy mustard.
Yummy. Wow. It is so tender and juicy, full of flavor.
I'm not gonna lie, Lizzie. This one brings me home. All right, so I'm gonna start butchering the chicken first.
Okay, you know what my first question is.
If you don't have chicken, can you use a steak?
No, could I just buy the pieces of chicken?
Yeah, of
Yes.
course you can, Liv.
Which is exactly what I would be doing.
Thank you, Lizzie.
And if you haven't realized by now, my mother grew up in the South. She was from Georgia originally.
Dalton.
Hence fried chicken, peaches, biscuits.
Yeah.
But today we're not having biscuits with our fried chicken.
So look, cutting up a chicken is easy. It has natural joints. So we have the wings, we have the legs and thighs. If you look at where it naturally separates, you could see there's the skin there. So you're just gonna cut through the skin on both sides. And then you just grab the chicken and you push and the thigh bones pop out. So now you see your next line. So you go around there and the leg and thigh are off. Same thing
Pretty
on this
crazy,
side.
isn't it?
Right down, tells you what to do. Leg and thighs are off,
Almost as easy as buying it in the store.
but not as fresh. So the wing joint is right there. You can see where the joint is. You take your knife, come underneath, your wing is off. Over here, see the joint,
Okay, gotcha.
and the wing is off. Here, again, you can see it's like not meat or bone.
Sure.
It's just, so I go through, and then you get to those rib bones, and then you give this a little push. Off. That's the backbone. If we were in Barberton, Ohio, they actually fry the backbones. And then I cut the breast straight down the middle.
So normally if you're butchering a chicken, you wouldn't be using this piece.
You could save that for stock.
Right, but you would be frying that up as fried chicken.
Right.
Typically.
In Barberton, Ohio, they fry the backbones with their fried chicken. It's delicious. Or else you could save it for stock, which is another bonus about using the whole thing. So right now, we have 2, 4, 6 pieces. So I'm gonna split the legs and thighs. We could leave the breast whole, or we could go to 10 pieces too if you want. So I like to kind of go around in a circle here. And then again, you can see that joint.
Okay.
Now you have your thighs, your legs.
Very nice.
You want full breasts or you want me to cut this?
half.
You want to, okay.
Halfsies.
Halfsies. So then you just go
You get
straight
another
down.
fried surface on it. that
Yeah,
way.
exactly. I like that. You get more crunch. And I like the wings whole. Some people leave the wings on the breasts. I mean, this is just a dealer's choice kind of situation. And I'm going to cut the backbone in half.
I
All
will.
right, so let me wash my hands real quick. All right, so I am just going to move this to here right now. And I am going to get my buttermilk marinade going. Now,
Right.
there's a ton of different ways to fry chicken, but your mom, buttermilk fried chicken, South, buttermilk fried chicken.
Yep.
You know, I think any respectful Southerner would only fry their chicken in a big cast iron
Absolutely.
pan, not in a deep fryer.
Never.
So the buttermilk mixture, I go about 2 cups of buttermilk. So couple shakes of your favorite hot sauce, garlic powder, onion powder, and just the smallest amount of celery seed, and a couple big pinches of salt, kosher.
Is it always those same spices for when you're doing fried
No,
chicken?
I think fried chicken, like barbecue, is your choice, dealer's
Right.
choice. All right, so we're gonna take our chicken, we're going to put it in a resealable bag, and then we're gonna take our buttermilk and pour it over top. And this is gonna marinate for anywhere from minimally 3 hours up to about 8. I'm gonna reserve a little bit of this buttermilk mixture because one thing that I learned with fried chicken is the best fried chicken is the ones you get towards the end where some of that buttermilk leaches into the flour mixture and you get those nice craggy pieces. So we are gonna create our own craggy pieces right off the rip.
All right.
All right, so Lizzie, you're gonna do the dry rub.
Yes, I am. So this is very, very simple. It's just a cup of cornstarch. This doesn't have to be, super precise, just close.
Also, Liv, you didn't ask this question, but cornstarch is a great cheat in fried chicken because it's gonna help make that chicken extra crunchy.
Yeah, it really crisps up very nice. And flour, 1 cup. This is just all-purpose flour. So this is some paprika,
Could you do like a smoked paprika in here?
for sure. This is straight up paprika.
Straight up.
But smoked would be lovely as well. Okay, and this is a little cayenne. We'll do about a teaspoon of cayenne. Maybe just a touch more because I like it spicy.
And that's really where it's at. This is the beauty of doing things on your own. You could really make them how you
Good
want.
pinch of salt. And some good amount of cracked pepper.
You
Get out
go.
of my dry rub. All right, just gonna give this a whisk. Make sure all those goodies are nice and incorporated into your flour.
And Liz, as you're whisking, I'm gonna pour in some of this.
Okay.
And then you could do a
Get
little
the
bit with the
craggy
whisk,
bits.
but you could also do it with your fingers
Yeah.
just to kind of mash it together.
Exactly.
And
So when
yeah.
you're putting your wet marinated chicken in here, that's what happens as you start pulling it out. The more you put it in the flour, the more it gets like this. So these are those craggy pieces he's talking about. So that's just giving you an extra pop of crunch on your fried chicken.
I mean, because everybody loves that little thick batter. You don't want it to all be that way, but you get those random
Right.
little crunchy
Right,
pieces.
exactly.
And they're so good.
Yes, I'm gonna do it.
Now you're gonna wash up?
Yes.
All right, so we have the craggy pieces, we have the chicken marinated. The last thing we're gonna talk about is our fat. Shirla always fried in either chicken smolts or bacon fat or pork fat. So we have peanut oil in here to start, but I also have some pork lard back here, and I am gonna add some lard to my peanut oil. So our oil's getting hot. I need to let that get to about 360
That oil's
degrees.
hot.
It is hot. The flour or the chicken is marinating in the buttermilk. We have the dredge going. I'm gonna cut this okra down to about 1/3 of an inch pieces. And when we get back, we're gonna show you how to fry up some okra on Shirla's show. All right, you guys, today is Shirla's show. It is a show all about Liz's mom. So we are doing some Southern favorites, things that she taught me, things that Liz grew up eating.
Yes, and
Fried
this is one of my
chicken,
favorites.
fried okra.
Fried okra.
What is okra? I have never had this. No, not-
It's very, very popular in the South. It's pretty much a staple side dish. It's typically fried. My mother always did hers in bacon fat. We're doing ours in lard and oil today. But
yeah.
it's super crunchy on the outside and sort of creamy in the middle, and it's just a really, really delicious flavor.
But you can
I
get
love
it anywhere, like it grows everywhere.
Yeah, you can get it anywhere.
Yeah, I've grown it in the garden here. Actually, Liz's mom was an incredible teacher to me for the garden. We've grown okra here. It's actually part of the hibiscus family, and it grows 6-7 feet.
Yeah.
So Lizzie, I'm gonna start the dredge first.
Okay.
I cut these in about 1/3 of an inch thickness. So this is just the first part of our dredge. So about 1/4 cup of flour, good pinch of salt, a little bit of paprika and cayenne.
Sort
And
of
then
the
that's
same
it.
spices we used in the chicken.
Yeah, I mean, I think with your mom's cooking or any style cooking, it's like there was a consistency in flavors with the food. So
Yeah.
we're gonna actually serve this on and with the chicken. So you want those kind of similar flavors, but you could use any spices
Did
that
you
you
put your
want.
salt in there?
I did.
Okay. I'm going to work on this very difficult step. It's egg and soda. So I have 1 egg. Just gonna give that a little whisk to start it. And then we're gonna put in about 1/2 cup of soda water, which is going to, when it's fried, give it a really nice crispy texture. Okay, and you see that gives a nice, look at it foam.
And that's just what gives us the lift in the batter. And then this is just standard breading procedure. So we're going flour, egg, and the cornmeal is the breadcrumb. So we just go first in the flour, a nice even coating, and then in the pocket with the eggs. And then I'm just gonna, if you could give me that slotted spoon, Lizzie, I'm gonna toss these
to.
around.
Are there other veggies that you could use this technique with?
Zucchini chips, probably.
You could probably do it with eggplant. Asparagus
like-
would be delicious.
Anything that you would tempura, maybe.
Yeah.
Like
Ooh,
that.
okay.
So this is ready. Before I put it in the cornmeal, which I'm actually gonna put a little
I was
pinch of
gonna
salt
say, I
in
don't think
too,
you salted that.
because I wanna make sure everything is seasoned properly. I wanna check the temperature of my oil. We need to be about 360 degrees with the
Right.
oil. Always remember, you could always cool it down by adding some regular temperature oil. Right now we're at 400 degrees here. So I'm just gonna add a little bit more. I'm using peanut oil because it has a high smoking point, and that should drop my oil down to about the 360 mark. All right, so then you're just gonna coat these evenly, and I am just gonna start dropping some of these in the fryer. And remember, whenever you're putting things away, don't drop from high, get a little bit closer, always kind of push it away from you. So once these go in, you kind of just give them a swirl. And now we're just looking for them to get a nice golden brown.
So you're not really cooking for time here. You're using your senses.
Yeah, this is a little bit more of a sensitive situation, but you're probably looking at a 3 to 5 minute situation,
nice
roughly.
bit.
You could see it has that nice golden texture on it, some of the green popping through. These ones that are golden, I am just gonna pull out. And as soon as these go down on the paper towels, Liz is gonna hit them with a little pinch of salt.
And okra tends to like salt. Like it's a rather unsalty vegetable.
All right, guys, it is Shirla's show today, so it's Star Show time, I feel, fried chicken. So
Yes.
we marinated it in the buttermilk, put this in the fridge. It's in the fridge for about 5 hours. Remember, 3 to 8 hours is kind of your happy point. We put some of that extra buttermilk in here to get these nice craggy pieces, which I'm just breaking up a little more. And then I'm gonna start dredging the chicken into the flour.
I like this. This is your take on Shirla's fried chicken.
My take on
because
Shirla's chicken.
She never did the craggy bits.
So you can see it looks like, you know, the 20th pizza fried chicken.
Right.
So I'm
Is
just moving it
craggy
to
a
here.
real word, or did we make
It
this
is
up?
now.
I like it.
No, I don't know. Craggy bits? I
Sure,
don't know.
craggy
I'm-
bits.
I
I'm
think-
into it.
So yeah, we're just kind of dredging. And another trick that I learned about Southern fried chicken through my travels is sometimes they will flour this like a day ahead and put it in the fridge uncovered.
I've done that before.
Yep, and just
Yeah.
because it kind of forms a little
Right.
crust. So if you wanted to get ahead on this, totally fine. Our fried chicken is ready. Look at it, it is gorgeous, right?
That would make Shirla proud.
It is
there.
nice and golden brown. It took about
It's really perfect.
12 minutes. You know, I was between 350 and 375 the whole way with the fat. So I'm gonna bring this over here and just let it sit for a second. And then, because we're gonna garnish this with some crunchy flat leaf parsley and reheat the okra, I'm gonna put the parsley in first. Now, usually I say when you put things in the oil, you know, gently put it in. Parsley is made up a lot of water, so it pops. So you do more of this kind of move,
You want to stand back.
and you just walk away.
Yeah, because that's really going.
And you let it do its thing, and this is where you're cooking with your senses. When you hear it stop popping, it's pretty much ready. So as that is happening, we're gonna take our beautiful fried chicken,
That is so perfect.
so hot, and this parsley is almost there, but you can see the moisture's out of it now. Our okra's actually still crunchy. So
We're not going to have any okra left by the time we
I could
get to
testing the
taste.
okra. So I'm gonna spread the okra around.
Now, this is something Shirla never did. I'm kind of into it.
You into it? Like extra crunchy bits. I'm gonna put some lemons and limes on here, and you can kind of do what you're in the mood for citrus-wise. I'm gonna take a little bit of this parsley out now. It's got a little crunch and color to it. This is gonna kind of brighten it up a little bit because the parsley has some of that kind of bitterness to it and freshness, even though it's been crisped up. So we're just gonna, and this
Yeah,
is
and it
this
does
is an optional little fun garnish, and that is it. That is our ode to Shirla fried chicken okra.